runs here in the first. He's going for the save. Can he do it here? You can. And Brazil hangs on. One team has been eliminated and 3 remain alive as the third day of the Tucson qualifier comes to a close. Tonight, Colombia looks to continue its march back to the World Baseball Classic and remain unbeaten as they take on upset-minded Germany. You see the standings right there. China ineligible for the WBC for just the first time ever, but now 3 teams are vying for the last 2 spots in next year's WBC. And once again, we welcome you back to our booth here in Tucson alongside the former Pittsburgh Pirate and Chicago Cub, Stephen Brault. I'm Greg Caserta. Happy to be with you once again. And the bottom line is Brazil is still alive, China isn't, and now we see Colombia and Germany.
And this is going to be an offensive showdown tonight. I don't know how much pitching we're going to get, but I know we're going to get a lot of hard contact.
Colombia, pretty simple. Win, and they're in.
Yeah, I mean, this is what you got to do in a tournament like this. They're the favorites, and they have to get business done tonight. And there are 2 guys that are going to be the most important people in this lineup. At the top of the lineup, Mikel Arroyo, only 20 years old. The pressure has not gotten to him at all in this tournament. Looks completely comfortable, and he has been great. And at the bottom of the order, Jesus Mariaga has been the story of this tournament. 4 for 8. He's got a homer. He tied the tournament lead in RBIs with 5. He's got a double. He has been all over the offensive side for Colombia.
Germany, on the other hand, and we'll talk about them in a little bit as you get another look at Mariaga with his home run trot. 4 RBIs last night in that win for Colombia. Now we look at the German team. They came oh so close in that 9-7 loss against Brazil. But here's the thing. They still have a shot to qualify for their first WBC.
Yeah, yesterday was a heartbreaker for Germany. They did everything they could on the offensive side, but Brazil just kept pulling away at the end of the ball game, and a lot of that was because of the defense and the pitching of Germany. They're going to have to be better about that tonight, but their offense has been fantastic. They can clearly hang with any of these teams when it comes to the offensive side. We'll need to see a much more complete game from Germany if they're going to beat Colombia tonight.
This is game 6 out of 7. No more doubleheaders after tonight. Lineups and first pitch are right around the corner, but upsets can happen in the World Baseball Classic, and this one was the biggest of them all.
Bottom 11, 1-0, Dominican Republic. Drive to right center field, that's gonna get in, base hit, they've tied it. Winning run, 90 feet away, 1 out, bottom of the 11th. Ground ball, the glove of Ibar, they did it, they win it. The Netherlands is going to Miami. Down goes the Dominican.
And I think that game was the first time that I actually became aware of the World Baseball Classic. Truly an incredible upset when the Netherlands beat the Dominican Republic. Hard to believe it was that long ago. Perhaps tonight we see something similar with Team Germany, the number 17 team in the latest world rankings, going up against Colombia. Here is the bracket, and here is what they are playing for. 2 spots remain. Germany, Colombia, Brazil, all vying for them. Of course, the big boys are already there. 4 pools spanning the globe from Puerto Rico to the U.S. to Tokyo. Can't wait to get that going next year, but of course, we can't wait to get going here tonight. Team Colombia 2-0. They win. They're going back for the 3rd straight year, the 3rd straight tourney, I should say. A 5-0 win over Brazil, an 8-1 win over China last night. Team Germany, a 12-2 win over China in 7 innings. And then a 9-7 loss to Brazil yesterday, where there were plenty of opportunities to come away with a come-from-behind win, but they just couldn't get that big hit. Tonight they face the left-hander Adrian Almeida, the 30-year-old from Puerto Cabello in Venezuela. He actually just pitched in 2 games a few weeks ago for Venezuela. in the Caribbean Series. There is Jendrik Speer, former German national team star. Here's his lineup. It really hasn't changed a whole lot. And when you look at this German lineup, Stephen Brawl, the key has been patience. 21 walks and 90 plate appearances. They have worked a walk in over 23% of their trips to the plate.
Yeah, Germany's done a great job of getting runs across the plate, and that's without the help of the top two guys in their lineup. Eric Brank and Lou Helmig, who should figure to be a big part of this offense, have really not done much yet. The bottom half of that lineup has really been where all their runs have come from, so they're going to need to go early tonight. Get those guys going in Brank and Helmig.
Almeida made 2 appearances for Colombia in the last World Baseball Classic against Mexico and Canada. Made the start against the Canadians and allowed 1 run over 3+. He did get Freddie Freeman out a couple of times and finished with a few punch outs as well. So Eric Brank trying to get off the offer. He's 0 for 10. And our first pitch at 6:06 local time is chopped to the left side. Acuna in the hole, throws across, 1 pitch, 1 away with Rodriguez anchoring the bag.
Brank just trying to explode early, trying to say, hey, look, this hasn't really worked for me so far, so I'm just going to go get a good pitch to handle. And he did get a good pitch to handle, took a pretty good swing, but just beat it straight into the ground. And Francisco Acuna over there at shortstop has been quite reliable. Good stretch over there at first as well.
Nice job right there by Rodriguez to lose the bag for a moment and then find his footing. Here's Lou Helmig also trying to get going, 2 for 10. And he takes a hard strike over the outside from the 6-foot, 175-pound left-hander, Adrian Almeida.
For anybody who's been paying attention to this German lineup, no Donald Lutz in there tonight, and we assume that's because you got the lefty starting, and Lutz obviously not as good against the left-hander, so I assume we're going to see him in a pinch hit role at some point tonight.
And Stephen, it's already evident that Almeida is one of the harder throwers that we've seen here at the qualifier. Game 6 out of 7. On a beautiful but chilly night once again in Tucson. That bunt pushed foul, and it's 1-2 on Helmig.
Got a lot of power on that bunt. Yeah. But I like the idea with Urshela playing basically in the hole in between short and third base. Now he's going to be way back there. If you can bunt with 2 strikes, now would be the time to do it, because anything down that third base line would 100% be a hit.
Almeida exclusively out of the stretch, and he gets him to chase. That fastball riding out of the zone, 92, puts Helmig down for the second out.
It's a good fastball. I like the arm angle, the action from Almeida. You see he kind of gets underneath it a little bit. Good push up above the zone. Helmig can't hold up. That one out of the hand, definitely above the zone, but sometimes those just look too good to lay off.
5 pitches, 2 outs. Here's Lucas Dunn. And there is the looming figure of Donald Lutz. We're going to hear from him at some point later. He has one of the 2 home runs in this qualifier. We'll see the other one a little bit later for Colombia. That would be their right fielder, the steady number 8 hitter, Jesus Mariaga, who is out in right field tonight once again.
Lucas Dunn has had a pretty good tournament for himself. 2 for 8, but he does have 3 runs. He has 2 RBIs. He's hit some scorching line drives.
A couple of doubles sprinkled in there as well. The strike 1 offering. And you talked about it quite a bit last night, partner. The lefties like to establish the inner half, and so far that's exactly what Almeida's doing with that fastball in the low 90s.
There was a time when they told you if you could get through the lineup without throwing a single off-speed pitch the first time, do it. That is not the case anymore.
Hammer to the left side, and it's off Urshela into left field. He had no chance with that ball scorched, and Dunn's aboard with a 2-out single.
Dunn once again has shown that he doesn't have a problem with velocity. Very short, compact swing straight to the ball. And so Almeida, like you said, probably maybe the 2nd hardest thrower we've seen in this tournament so far. And Dunn able to pull that over to the left side, hit it too hard past Urshela.
And remember, the Colombians, when they come up in the bottom of the 1st inning, have an all right-handed lineup. The Germans sprinkling in a few lefties here. It's Simon Baumgart batting from the right side. And he takes up high. We should tell you about the umpires. Alessandro Spira behind the plate. Trevor Daniger over at first. Alan Izaguirre at second, and Casey James over at third. Trevor Daniger, I thought, did a great job at third base in game 1 of this doubleheader today. And it's now 2-0 on Baumgart. He's had a great tourney for Deutschland. 4 for 7 with a double, an RBI, and 4 runs to lead the way.
Yeah, really fun story of this tournament from Baumgart. That first day, he was perfect. Was on base 5 times, and then even yesterday got 2 more hits to his name.
And he has been the standout amongst this group of patient German hitters.
Oh, yeah. They make you throw the ball in the zone. They have taken their walks. Brazil walked them 11 times yesterday. And the first day against China, they got 10 walks.
Baumgart, if memory serves me right, reached base safely in his first 6 appearances in this qualifier.
It was really disappointing when he got out. I remember that.
3-1. Poke to short. Nice footwork from Acuna. And he finds Arroyo at second to retire the side. A single for the Germans. Colombia coming up next. Here is the Colombian lineup. It has been lethal. They are 1 win away from their 3rd straight trip to the World Baseball Classic. They've now gone 5-0 in their last 2 qualifying events. And we get things started at the top with one of the most exciting young players in this qualifier, the 20-year-old Mariners prospect. And it's Michael Arroyo getting plunked to begin the ballgame for right-hander Mark Harrison. A close shave right there for Michael. Not what you want.
Announcing your presence.
With authority.
With authority. No, I think that one just kind of slipped out of his hand, unfortunately, on the first pitch for Mark Harrison.
Pitches for his hometown Paderborn Untouchables in the German Bundesliga.
What a mustache.
That's sharp. Here's Harold Ramirez trying to get going. And hoping that a win tonight for Colombia just lets everybody go home. Several players will return to different spring training sites. Some right here in Arizona. Harold 2 for 10 with an RBI. Runner breaks and the pitch is blooped down the right field line. But it ends up foul. Arroyo got a good jump. He does have 1 stolen base to his name.
He also was caught stealing once.
Yes, he was.
On a good throw by Wang Shuai Wang from
Very
China.
Good.
Yeah.
Isn't it funny? You get to these sort of events and you're trying to get acclimated with the teams, and then you see them play a couple of games and suddenly you're pretty well acquainted with them.
Yeah, we've seen these players a lot over the last few days, learned a lot about them. A guy like Harold Ramirez, we already know, right? But guys that we haven't seen that we get to know, like Simon Baumgart or, Jesus Mariaga with Colombia. Those stories are really the ones that stand out to me because this is the kind of stage where they get to be put on display.
And Ramirez also trying to showcase his talents. The 30-year-old free agent looking for a job. I think that'll happen soon for Harold. Great jump, pitch inside, throw down to second, and Arroyo successful on that one, his second steal of the tourney.
And I think because that one was so far inside, it didn't seem like Arentz could really get that ball out of his glove quickly, because it seemed like at first he really did have a chance, but the transfer, you see this transfer really takes a while for Arentz to get that down to second base.
Leadoff man already in scoring position as Ramirez takes outside. First base open with Rodriguez on deck. Harold Ramirez, like we told you last night, is hitting to a World Baseball Classic dubious record, 4 double plays. It's never happened before this year. And that one's hammered off the plate, back up the middle, bouncing ball into center field. Arroyo coming home. He's in there. Harold Ramirez, welcome to the fun. His second ribby, and Colombia is dancing with a 1-0 lead.
I don't know what happened there. It seemed like Alex Schmidt had a chance to stop that one. I know that it kind of took an extra zip as it went through the infield because of those high hops and the high spin rate on that ball. You see it kind of get an extra jump right here, bang. But it seemed like Schmidt brought the glove back.
He did.
And maybe from a different angle we'd be able to see better that maybe he had no chance. But definitely an RBI single there that hurts.
Watch Arroyo too. Head down, looks over his shoulder, and he's in there. And right there, he really does look like Jose Ramirez. Good on you, partner.
And anytime you're on second base and a ground ball is hit behind you, you're going.
Runner goes again. Bouncing ball. They stay out of the double play. Schmidt steps into the throw and takes care of Rodriguez for the first out.
Looks like Colombia is trying to make things uncomfortable for this German defense early. Seen a few mistakes from the German defense over these last few games. Seemed like Colombia trying to force the issue by sending the runners.
With that stolen base from Arroyo, Colombia now 5 out of 6. As we mentioned, Arroyo, the lone caught stealing for this bunch. But now you've got Ramirez in scoring position for Gio Urshela, who's quietly gone 2 for 6 in the first 2 games. Triple, a couple of runs, and a walk. I think Oakland is going to be a good fit for Gio. Really give them the flexibility to play everywhere, which he's done most of his career. And there's a strike from Harrison over the outside.
And of course, a very good third baseman, as we saw in this tournament earlier. Surprising amount of pop as well when he can get underneath it.
And he's overmatched on that one. We've seen that a couple of times here from Gio.
Yeah, for me, that's usually meaning that he almost chose to swing before the pitch was even thrown, and so that's why you see that kind of half swing. They're very committed to the swing at first, and then realizes, oh, that's a ball, I'm not going to hit it.
Runner goes, bouncing ball to short. Everything finding Schmidt. He gloves and throws, and he throws it away. And Germany lets that one fall apart. A very rare error from Alex Schmidt. He's had a shaky start, and Colombia capitalizes to grab a 2-0 lead.
That one really hurts because you could see, if we take a look at this, that as off the bat, they were not going to send Harold Ramirez home. Schmidt kind of takes a second here to get that throw out of his glove, but honestly, over at first base, that ball looked like it could have been caught, but Boehmer just kind of whiffed, trying to come off the right side of the bag. And watch Harold Ramirez here. He stops at third, but he's waiting for Schmidt to make this throw. He's watching. As soon as he makes the throw, he takes off. And if that ball had been caught at first, you didn't have a chance to get him at home. So either way, that run was going to score. But an unfortunate error again on Germany, and this is not the start you wanted.
And that is why pitching coach Clemens Sichaki came out to slow down Harrison, who has a slight connection to Gio Urshela because he served as a European scout for the A's the last couple of years. First pitch swinging, Jair Camargo, and he fouls it away.
Harrison doing a good job getting his ground balls. He's not going to get a lot of strikeouts, not much velocity, but the weird arm angle, he's getting these balls beat straight into the ground by Colombia, but unfortunately hasn't gone his way.
And that one's dropped by Arentz. It gets to the backstop, and now Urshela takes second. And this is becoming quite the nightmare for Germany.
Yeah, another play there that Rentz maybe thought that was actually going to hit Camargo, and late reaction getting to it. Just popped right out of his glove. That'll be a pass ball.
Not according to the official score, my friend.
I'm writing it as a pass ball.
It's already been set in stone.
19.
And something that we've noticed, you just touched on it, and that is that it's almost like Colombia is trying to just get it into the ground. They're not trying to elevate anything because they know what Harrison's got.
Yeah, when you got a sinker pitcher, sometimes you just got to go with what he's going to give you. Just work on trying to hit it hard into the ground. But so far, I mean, we've got choppers. That's it. Not line drives, not low line drives, just unfortunately placed choppers. So hopefully Harrison understands that what he's doing is working pretty well. It just hasn't gone his way.
Forced them to make a play, and so far the Germans have it. 2-2. And he gets hit. That's the second hit batter for Harrison. And he caught Camargo. And you could see Harrison just really stumbling through this first inning. He got Rodriguez on the ground out to short. Should have had the out on the Urshela grounder to short. But Colombia with 2 runs in, and now 2 more on the bags with only 1 out.
Need a big play here. And Germany, look, they're already going to that bullpen, getting somebody ready, because this game matters more than anything else right now. You got to win this game to find yourself in a really good spot. Honestly, the tiebreakers and stuff, if Germany wins this game, it gets very confusing.
Sven Schuler getting hot, getting ready to make his second appearance of the tourney. And it's not getting much easier at this point in the lineup. Dilson Herrera, yesterday's birthday boy. 3 for 8, 2 doubles, 2 runs scored.
We gotta give him.
He's got Urshela at second and Camargo at first. Harrison running out of time here. And there's a strike over the outside.
Doesn't it feel like that was the first taken strike? Seems like we've seen a lot of swings from Colombia early, and Harrison's still trying to find consistent in the zone.
Well, I'll tell you something that just crossed my mind in a moment. 1-1. Bouncing ball over the mound. Schmidt is there, can't make the play, and it rolls away. The wheels are falling off the German train. Second error on the normally sure-handed Schmidt. Urshela scores, it's now 3-zip.
When Schmidt, you can see the frustration. Pulled off of it a little bit, and once again, that ball chopped right into the ground. Looked like Harrison thought about making a play on it at first with the bare hand, but then dropped it and let it go through to second. And you see Schmidt once again, that one stayed down lower than he thought it would. And you know, I'm not one here to tell people how to play shortstop. I'm a left-handed pitcher. That one right there, you want to come from down to up.
A very early call to the bullpen. Sven Schuler on his way in for Germany. Sven Schuler making his second appearance of this qualifier. Worked an inning and a third yesterday against Brazil and gave up a run in an inning and a third. So Mark Harrison kind of unlucky here. He did hit a couple of batters, but 2 errors behind him at shortstop certainly didn't help his case. And so we saw this in game 1, a 6-run first inning for Brazil.
Keep an eye on Herrera at first.
Runners at the corners, and Colombia halfway there. Buelvas now in an 0-2 hole.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate for Harrison, honestly. Yes, he hit the 2 guys, but he got his ground balls. He did exactly what he needed to do and had some bad luck. I mean, some bouncers that went to the wrong place, his very sure-handed shortstop and Alex Schmidt not getting there on a few plays that we've seen him make way harder plays than those ones.
It's almost like these other teams have gotten together and they play baseball, and then they run into Colombia and it's like they freeze.
Yeah.
Like they realize, like, whoa, this is a different class. Another chopper to short. Let's see if Schmidt can handle it. He can, but can only get the 1 out. And this is shocking what has gone on at shortstop here with Alex Schmidt.
Yeah, at this point it seems like a mental thing more than anything else there for Schmidt. Unable to get the handle, and I know you can't put an error because you still get an out, but that was a sure double play ball. Perfectly tailor-made double play ball, and the cherry hop right to Schmidt's chest, and still having a hard time. And you see the frustration hitting the glove from Alex Schmidt. This is something that he's not going to be happy about, because he knows this is what he really brings to the table a lot of times. He's a good shortstop.
Runner goes from first. Big swing by Mariaga. He fouls it back. Brian Buelvas able to drive in the run. His second ribby of this qualifier. He was on the move from first. And with Schmidt to try and nail the point home, and that is, this is not the final game for Germany.
No.
They need him to get right for Thursday night if they're playing on Thursday. This one cracked into right center field. It's Jesus Mariaga. Who else? Sprinting around the bases, losing his helmet, going into third with a ribby triple.
I mean, you just cannot say enough about what Jesus Mariaga has been for this Colombian team. He's still hitting in the 8-hole. This lineup has been the same all 3 games, and Mariaga has been their best hitter, no doubt, with a triple here. He now has hit for the cycle in the tournament, but also just to see how consistent he's been. Straight to the ball, flat bat path, not much swing and miss, and he's just barreling everything up.
He is now 5 for 9 with a 20-leading 6 RBIs. Breaking the tie he shared with Victor Mascai. And Jesus Mariaga opening eyes all over the world. He's just playing free and easy. And now the Colombians can actually match Brazil with a 6-run first.
You know, we talked about the manager for Brazil, Yuichi Matsumoto, a lot about the decisions he's made in game that have helped this team. Well, I think Jose Mosquera did a great job of bringing that guy, Jesus Mariaga, who's been on his team in the Colombian Winter League the last 2 years, Caimanes de Barranquilla. He's done a great job of finding players like Jesus Mariaga, who he knew would be a big impact player in this tournament.
1-2 to Acuna, swing and a miss. And Schuler puts him down to close out a rough first. Alex Schmidt stumbles aplenty. Throwing error. Brings in Ramirez. Boots that one. Another run in Urshela. That should have been 2. Instead, it's only the 1 run. And it's 5 in total for Germany after the first. It's not pretty, but it's reality for Germany, down 5-0 after errors killed them in the bottom of the first inning. Adrian Almeida back to work with a lot of support. Here's Sean Larry, the DH. 1 for 5 with a double and a couple of ribbies. Very late on the fastball. We saw plenty of that in a 13-pitch first from Almeida.
I'd like to mention not only errors, but errors combined with free passes, right? 2 hit by pitches combined with 2 errors, a few hits, and that's how you give up 5 runs very quickly.
Larry, Bergman, and Boimer, 5, 6, and 7 here for Germany. Almeida nice and composed, and that one's tapped softly foul. Adrian Almeida, originally signed by the Mets out of Venezuela in 2012, pitched in their organization until 2016. And then the Angels took him in the Rule 5 draft after the Mets failed to add him to the 40-man. 2-2.
And last year he pitched in the Atlantic League. That was my last stop as well in my playing baseball career.
And how was that experience for you?
Well, I got knocked out trying to rob a home run in Charleston.
2-2. Front door breaker. Pure filth from Almeida.
That's one of my favorite pitches as a lefty, the accidental front door slider. You're trying to go away to get the swing. Instead, you get the freeze because you accidentally threw it right at him. The accidental perfect front door slider there from Almeida. And Larry just can't take the bat off his shoulder. You see him scooting away from that one, and it ends up going right on that inside corner.
It's the combination of that swiveling curveball and then the casual flip from Jair Camargo to start the throw around.
Swag.
Yeah,
it's nice. Piquete, as they call it.
Here's Finn Bergman. And so far, the thing I'm noticing, the strike zone from Alessandro Spira is the most generous it's been for any of the pitchers here in this qualifier. Fastball gunned in, 93 on the radar from Almeida.
This is a really, I like this delivery. It actually kind of reminds me of my own at times, the way he falls off to the first base side.
Wow. He keeps this up. It's going to be a long night for Germany. Third punch out for Almeida.
Just a really good pitch there. You see he's going with the fastballs and then throwing that slider right off of it. And Team Germany unable to stick with it. That one dives down below the zone. That's a perfectly executed slider to a righty. You don't necessarily want that to move side to side very much. You want that pitch to dive down below the bat.
So has he got a little crossfire thing going on right there?
Oh, yeah. You see the way he hops over toward first. Back leg swings out to his left. That's what I used to do, too.
But did you always do that, or was that something that you learned over time?
Kind of both. It's a bit of a natural movement that you can kind of exaggerate to try to get a little more on that fastball.
He's just peppering the zone. Boimer already down 0-2.
But if you can throw the fastball and the slider from that angle consistently in the strike zone, that's a tough at bat, especially for a left-hander.
Almeida just in tune with everything right now. But there you get a broken bat liner back up the middle. Boimer not fooled. And Simon Boimer has been perfect in very limited opportunities. He's now 2 for 2 in his 2 plate appearances here for Deutschland.
Love seeing him stay on that slider. That one, of course, hung right down the middle. Okay, so this isn't the well-executed slider that we've seen from Almeida. But right there, not necessarily up, kind of down at the knees and just stays through it. It gets it a little bit off the end. That's why that bat is obviously in 37 pieces, but good swing, get the knock.
Big hole on the right side for the catcher, Arentz, and he goes that way, spraying it just wide of first.
Arentz does not have a hit yet. He's 0 for 3, but he has walked 4 times. That's just another indication what this German lineup has done.
You see it right there. The other aspect, the 2 RBIs for the 31-year-old.
Without a hit.
Still a pretty solid couple of days. Strike 1 pitch. Late again.
So now here you got Arentz late on 2 fastballs. Now you're kind of hoping that maybe he'll try to cheat to it. You throw that back foot slider, you get him swing and a miss by about 3 feet. But if he isn't, then you're throwing it into his bat path. So we'll see what he decides to go with.
Good take by Arentz. Not opening the zone too much. Arentz even played in Italy at one point. That was in 2020. Very well traveled.
Got a few players that played in that Italian league. Thiago da Silva, who was a big San Marino player and also obviously played in the WBC for Italy.
Italian Serie A. There might be a 1 in there too. Serie A1 to be technical. Pitch number 30 here for Almeida. And that's exactly where he wanted it, 2-2.
So now that he's seen that fastball, really only 2 pitches being featured here from Almeida. So you kind of choose one, right? 50-50, see if Arentz can get around on that fastball here.
Good at-bat by Arentz. This is what he does. He's never out of an at-bat.
It was 0-2. Just want to remind you that 0-2 really laid on 2 fastballs. And then Almeida tried, you know, as we always call it, tried to get pretty, tried to get the strikeout with that slider. And instead of just using the fastball, which clearly showed it was working, now you've put yourself in a count where he's ready for the fastball.
Boimer gets the head start from first. Bouncing ball, left side. Gio Urshela, nice and easy. Inning over. And Almeida's through 2. Colombia leads Germany 5-0. We go back more than 20 years to the 2004 World Series when 2 Colombians lined up as opposing shortstops. You had Orlando Cabrera, who became a hero for the Red Sox. Edgar Renteria had his moment with the Marlins. And it was all Boston in that one. A straight sweep of the Cardinals. Keith Foulke secured that final out at Busch Stadium and ended the drought.
I mean, was there really any question that Boston was going to win that World Series after they came back down 3-0 against the Yankees?
I think if you ask our MLB Network colleague Kevin Millar, he'd say no way. They were losing that thing.
I think if you ask our producer Mike Trainer, he says he didn't watch it.
1-2 the count on Arroyo, because Colombia sent all 9 to the plate in the first, coming away with 5 runs on 3 hits.
Arroyo's looked great in this tournament. I really like the way he plays the game. I like his swing. He's got good speed. This guy could end up being a very good player.
So they changed something in the scoring, because originally Colombia only had 2 hits. So they ended up giving one to Dilson Herrera. So now Herrera in the tournament, 4 for 9. Arroyo sends a high drive to deep left center, but it's not going to carry tonight. Lucas Dunn slides over from center to make the catch.
No, not great carry on that ball, but also just got a little bit in on the hands. I think it sounded maybe a little bit better than it actually was on contact, but still the ability to pull his hands on a pitch off the plate inside when he's standing on the plate and not only hit it fair, but hit it to center field. He got inside that ball so quickly, and even though he's out, that's a really good sign. If you're somebody who's watching Mikel Arroyo play and you're looking for what he can do in the future, hands that fast, that's going to be a big bonus.
You talked about his hands and his bat speed last night. It also shows that he's got incredibly strong forearms and wrists. Harold Ramirez just letting that one sail on by. Strike 2. Harold an RBI single and a run in the first. There's the 20-year-old. Breaking ball, chopped to third, stays fair. Brink, long throw across, and he gets Ramirez by a couple of steps. MLB Pipeline's number 98 prospect, Mikel Arroyo. Probably the first a lot of people are hearing of him here at this qualifier, because he's kind of a very good secret right now. But I think depending on what happens this year, he is going to climb those rankings very quickly.
Yeah, definitely a guy that I didn't know about that I will be following from now on.
Another swing and a bouncer foul. Reynaldo Rodriguez. And when we went back and watched him circling the bases, the thing that you notice how thick he is in his lower half. He's just got a lot of strength to drive the baseball and do a lot of other things well. We talked about his stolen base prowess. Believe he finished with what, 18 in the minors this year?
18 stolen bases, 23 home runs.
Plenty more where that came from.
Oh yeah.
Rodriguez out on a grounded to short, a rare one that Schmidt handled in the first inning. That one knocks him down. Schuler just lost it as soon as he let it go. And now Rodriguez, a little bit slow to get up here. I do like that he has his name on his belt on the backside.
Oh yeah. I mean, this one, call that chin music.
Watch that right leg when he collapsed down, but it's a tough guy right there, Reynaldo Rodriguez. A lot of battle scars. And it's now 3-1 from Schuler.
Yeah, Reynaldo Rodriguez has been playing the game for quite a long time. And I guarantee you that's not the first time he's had to stop, drop, and roll.
That's lifted out to deep right field, tailing back. Bergman, much easier with the conditions tonight. And it's a 1-2-3 second for Sven Schuler. Loving the music, bringing us back for the third inning here at the Tucson Qualifier. A live look at Keno Veterans Memorial Stadium here in Arizona. Got some Dodgers fans out here.
They're everywhere.
Especially lately. What's not to like? Strike one on Alex Schmidt. Let's see if Alex can just turn the page. And as you would say from your old skipper Clint Hurdle, shower it off. Schmidt with 2 errors at shortstop in the first inning. Should not take away from what he's done elsewhere in this tourney, because at the plate he's 2 for 4 with 4 RBIs and 3 walks.
Yeah, but he's not thinking that. You know, this is with baseball, unfortunately, a lot of the times it's not about what have you done, it's about what have you done for me lately. And unfortunately for Alex Schmidt right now, he's thinking about those errors and wants to do something to kind of make up for that.
I like what he did right there, because Almeida's been working very fast. Nice to see him smiling right there.
There you go. Keep it loose.
You
5
have to,
is,
right?
yeah, I mean, if 5 is a deficit you can definitely come back from. You just got, you know, as a team, you got to start passing that baton.
Almeida just on point. And that was a very delayed, very subtle strike 3 call. 4th punch out for Almeida. Here's a flashback. The greatest moment in World Baseball Classic history. Trout and Ohtani.
Look at that slider. I feel like it's easy to forget that Ohtani's a pitcher, because we didn't see him do it last year and he just, I don't know, hit 50 homers and stole 50 bases. More than that, actually. But still, I mean, that at-bat was storybook. It was so perfect.
Well,
especially because they were still on the same team at the time.
That's right. They had to go share a clubhouse together in spring training. And Ohtani will be back on the bump this year for the Dodgers, as if they needed any more help in that rotation. Eric Brink grounded out to short. And there's a strike. So far, super impressed with Adrian Almeida. 4 strikeouts, first time through the order.
Just seems like it's probably hard to pick up. And he's also been commanding the zone pretty well, using that fastball inside against the righties and that slider falling off. And that is a magnificent outfit.
Really is.
Or cowbell.
And that's a magnificent glove for Almeida. Bright red. Nice cherry lacquer finish on it. 2-2.
Eric Brink here still trying to find his way. And it would be a big time for him to break out. Germany, if Germany ends up losing this game, they're definitely going to have to play on Thursday against Brazil. And they're going to need Eric Brink. And we keep saying that because he still hasn't gotten even a hit yet.
Another strikeout for Almeida. Back-to-back Ks, and Eric Brink is now 0 for 12 with 5 strikeouts here in Tucson.
Just tough. I think he's pressing, just trying to do too much. Trying to make that 5-run swing instead of, you know, just trying to get the job done. That's understandable in this situation. You want to be the guy that helps the team.
Classic case of trying to swing yourself out of a slump. Germany just guessing right now. Lou Helmig out in front of the breaker for strike 1. Helmig, the first strikeout victim. Chased 92 out of the zone when Almeida climbed the ladder, and just don't know where it's going. It's got late life on it too.
It does, and I would assume that they probably look really similar out of the hand. It probably tunnels pretty well. Seems like he's got a pretty consistent release point. And so it's hard as a hitter, because even though there's only 2 pitches, if they look the same, it's hard to even, you know, say I'm only going to swing at a fastball, because you think you're swinging at a fastball, but it ends up being a slider.
From the third base side of the rubber, Almeida getting the signs from Camargo. Hit a mile high. You can make dinner reservations as this one comes down. Rodriguez trying to locate. Very calmly, he makes the catch. And the inning comes to an end. 3 up and 3 down. Almeida with 5 punch-outs through 3. There is a guy that really impressed us when we got a chance to meet him for the first time the other day. 38-year-old Jose Mosquera, who has led Caimanes de Barranquilla in the Colombian Baseball League to 4 of the last 5 league titles. Of course, the 2022 Caribbean Series. First time a Colombian team ever won that tournament. And when he told us he had to win the clubhouse first, I think it's pretty evident that mission accomplished.
Absolutely. You see a lot of buy-in from that Colombian team. Also having a lot of fun. That's not something that he didn't want them to do. He expressed he wanted them to have fun, but also he wanted to see commitment and full effort with everything that they've done. And like you said, win the clubhouse, win the game. It's one of my favorite things I've heard a manager say.
No doubt about it. And if Colombia can win tonight, they will make their 3rd straight World Baseball Classic. They'd be 6-0 in their last 2 qualifying events. They didn't have to qualify in 2023 after sweeping the Panama City qualifier in 2017. But when they get to the main tournament, and that's something that we talked about, even going back to Game 1, they've gone 2-5 when in the main World Baseball Classic, and 4 of those games were decided by 2 runs or less. So they are right on the precipice with this current group. Gio Urshela gets the veteran call, 1-2.
It's a good conversation right here. Mosquera trying to figure out how Almeida's feeling, making sure he's good to go. How many pitches you got? No, I'm good. I'm good. I can go for a while. I think that's part of the fun of this tournament. We've talked about managers having to try to figure out the best way to use their pitchers. And with Almeida, I don't think we're not gonna see Colombia if they win. And so he's probably saying, I want this. Let me go.
Count actually 3-2 on Urshela. Who rolls over on 1 to short. Hold your breath. Alex Schmidt. There we go.
Back to form.
And that is something that he needed, and even the German dugout, you could see several players clapping their hands for the kid from Australia.
See a little bit of a wry smile there. Everybody, let's be honest, a little holding the breath there on that play. And Alex Schmidt, absolutely no hesitation whatsoever.
You know why?
He's back.
Wasn't thinking.
Wasn't thinking.
That's simple. Nice job, kid. Here's Jair Camargo. Takes that bender high and tight. Camargo hit by a pitch, scored a run in the first, and then again, who didn't? 5 runs for Colombia. Chasing Mark Harrison after just the 3rd of an inning.
You know, it's too bad because I think Mark Harrison actually would have been a pretty good matchup for this Colombian lineup. Just a guy using all sinkers. But now we're seeing that with Swen Shula as well.
I'm telling you, saying it perfectly. 1-1. Low and outside. Good stab by Arentz. Talked about Schuler, who pitched in the Dodgers organization, making 1 appearance at AAA in 2018. That's in Oklahoma City. Been there for quite some time now.
I love the high water pants. Look at those.
I like the burgundy cleats as well. That one tipped and whacked off the catcher Arentz, 3-2. I like that. Very sharp.
Goes perfectly with the uniform. I love the black Deutschland uniforms. I think one of my favorite, I want to get hats.
Yes.
From every team. That's my goal.
Try and rustle some up for you. Payoff. Little flip shot into shallow right. Bergman was back. Bergman comes in and he just missed it. He did not get a good read, did not get a good angle, and right field has been a problem and continues to be so. Jair Camargo will likely have a double out of this one.
Yeah, so from our angle, actually, we had a very good angle because, as you said, we could see that he was not on the right path to this ball. He had missed it. He didn't judge how far it was going to spin and fall over to that right field line, and so coming in so much, he wasn't able to get there. You see, out of the box, let's see this. Around first, sees that that's going to be a weird bounce and takes off.
There he is. The Mack truck pulling into second. Jair Camargo aboard for the 2nd time. His 2 hits in this qualifier have gone for doubles. And now he's out there for Herrera, who takes down low.
I think this is the kind of situation where You have a slow runner at second base, and they're not going to pay attention to him at all. Camargo might be able to get himself a really big lead, big secondary.
Although just to the left of your screen right there, he's not in frame, but the second baseman, Simon Baumgart, is in the neighborhood.
I think after that first pitch, Jendrik Speer may have said something.
Let's see if you see him creep in. No, not yet. There we go. No, still. I'm telling you, folks, he's right there. 1-1. Herrera late. Tilson singled in the first inning, 4 for 9. There he is, as promised, Simon Baumgart. Just in case Camargo gets a little greedy. And now Camargo noticing that he's nearby, so he's kind of got that 2-out lead.
Those situations are always fun because you got, a little back and forth. Pointing at him, say, I'm not going anywhere. He's too close. It's almost like he's offended that they're holding him on.
As a guy who can dance, you can appreciate that. 1-2. Good scoop by Arentz. But going back to that Camargo double, even that right there, it's not an error, but it should only be a single if Bergman can't come up with the catch.
Yeah, it should be a single. I also think that ball should have been caught. I think he had a good read on how in he needed to get.
Pulled on the ground, left side, and it bleeds through for a base hit. Second single for Herrera, but Camargo stops at third, and that's the wise move. Runners at the corners for Colombia, and the dancing continues for the guys in yellow.
So I know obviously that's not the result you want if you're Germany, but if you really pay attention to what's going on the field, after the first pitch, they did start holding Camargo on, and therefore he could not get a big lead and wasn't able to score on this. He's barely off second base, and so here Camargo has to stop at third.
He was thinking about it. He took his turn.
Oh yeah, you always got to take the turn.
Wilson Herrera with that single, now 2 for 2 and 5 for 10 overall. Brian Buelvas laced through the left side. 6-0 Colombia on 3 straight hits.
Colombia looking to unload here now. At first inning, they were given some gifts. This inning, they are earning everything they're getting. Some hard line drives from the last 2 hitters in Buelvas and Herrera.
Camargo's was blooped. Herrera and Buelvas both unloaded. And a mound visit now to check on Schuler and give the bullpen some time to warm up.
And not the guy you want to get up in a situation with runners on right now. Jesus Mariaga waits on deck.
I mean, just look at some of the overall numbers for these Colombian hitters. Herrera is 5 for 10. Buelvas, with that base hit, is 4 for 9. Mariaga, who's coming up now, is 5 for 9. And that's the bottom half of your lineup.
We've seen a lot of production from the bottom of lineups. Germany's been the same way throughout this tournament. Bottom of their lineup has really been what's kept them in these games. And Colombia doing the same thing.
Big swing, Mariaga getting after it. Strike 1.
And this guy right here. Colombia so far as a team hitting .316 with a .986 OPS. As a team.
Herrera at second. Buelvas at first. After back-to-back singles. Mariaga fists one. Back up the middle. He's 2 for 2. Here comes Herrera. The throw off the plate. And Jesus Mariaga just keeps on piling on. Colombia's grabbed 2, and it's 7-0.
I actually like the approach right there from Schuler to try to get inside and make sure that Mariaga couldn't get his hands extended. Well, guess what? He didn't care. Pulled the hands inside, just got enough of the barrel to get it out to center field, and looks like that's going to be it for Schuler.
6 for 10 with 7 RBIs. Everything breaking right for Jesus Mariaga and the Colombians. Germany breaks back into the bullpen here in the third. Jaden Agassi hoping that tonight's appearance goes a little bit better than yesterday's in that 9-7 loss to Brazil. He got the first call out of the bullpen behind Tommy Sommer, who, if you remember, was perfect for 3 innings for Germany. Agassi failed to finish the 4th, gave up 4 earned runs on 3 hits, also walked a pair. And his first pitch to Francisco Acuna is taken outside. But the onslaught has chased Swen Schuler, who got a ground out from Urshela to begin the 3rd, but then 4 straight hits knock him out. Back-to-back ribby singles from Huelvas and Mariaga. Ground ball right side, diving stop. Baumgart, beautiful play to pick up his pitcher.
Wow. Baumgart has done everything in this tournament. We've seen him make some nice plays. Usually what we've seen is him running back, catching fly balls in shallow center field. That time, ranging to his left. See him hopping away from second base. Quick turn, dive, get up, and an easy toss to first. Nice play.
Acuna denied a base hit and a possible RBI, but the 2 runners scoot into scoring position for Arroyo, who's trying to get in on the fun. Whipped on the ground to short. Schmidt is there, fields the second hop, and he redeems himself. So Jaden Agassi comes in and gets the last 2 outs on just 3 pitches. But Colombia attacks on 2 more to take a 7-0 lead.
Corporation, which is 92.1
Nice job, kid. .30-year-old left-hander Adrian Almeida started pitching in the sunshine. As night falls, he's becoming the Dark Knight, just getting nastier and nastier. 1 strikeout in the 1st, 2 in the 2nd and 3rd. Only needed 13 pitches in the 1st and the 3rd, and he's back out there with a 7-0 lead after Colombia scores twice in the 3rd. Greg Caserta, Stephen Brault, the rest of our crew, happy to be with you from the Tucson Qualifier here at Keno Veterans Memorial Stadium. It's 3-4-5 for the Germans. Dunn, Baumgart, and Larry. Lucas Dunn, the first of 2 singles for Germany. And it's up high for ball 1.
You're going to get things going as Team Germany. It'll be a good time to start it now. Almeida's been fantastic. Hasn't been easy to get good contact off of.
Dunn had a nice college career at the University of Louisville. And he actually was able to get to the 2019 College World Series where he had hits in all 4 games. Louisville came close.
Yeah.
They got eliminated in the semifinals by Vanderbilt 3-2. They went on to win their 2nd College World Series by taking 2 out of 3 off Michigan. So they were amongst the Final 4. And then the Padres took him in the 8th round in the 2021 draft. But he was released back in January of this year after finishing last season in AA. Great job by our team to get those numbers up from his time with the Cardinals. Almeida's 1-2. And you see Dunn, he's got the package. He swings a good bat.
I really like Dunn's swing. It's very short, but he's got some pop. You saw him pull that ball down the line just a few pitches ago. That ball was hit extremely well. Just pulled the hands inside. Unfortunately, couldn't keep it fair.
At one point, Dunn played for the U.S. collegiate team against the Japanese collegiate all-stars. He's familiar with these sorts of competitions.
Yep.
And what it means to put on a national jersey. Mentioned that his mother's of German descent, which allows him to play for Deutschland. So we'll see what Almeida gives Colombia here the rest of the way, now that he's gone over 50 pitches. There is a right-hander playing catch out in the pen in left field.
I think no matter what happens with Almeida here, he's been fantastic. I mean, this is exactly what the Colombian pitching staff needed. They've only given up 1 run total.
3-2.
They shut out Brazil. Gave up 1 run to China. And are now getting business done once again against Germany, who came into this game and scored, what, 19 runs?
Let's not forget 6 hitless innings last night in that win over China from their bullpen. And Lucas Dunn with 2 quality ABs, a single in the first, and now a leadoff walk here in the 4th.
Really one of the only hitters in this German lineup. It seems like he's seeing Almeida well, but that will be it for Adrian.
First walk, only walk. 3+ from Almeida. No runs right now. 5 strikeouts and a call to the Colombian bullpen right after this.
So Almeida is done. A great job by him. 3 innings pitched, 2 hits, 5 strikeouts, and only 1 walk. That was the last hitter he faced in Lucas Dunn. And entering the game for Colombia, Luis Escobar, a good friend of mine. Played with him in the Pirates organization for a few years. Ended up pitching in 4 games for the Pirates in 2019. He actually replaced me on the roster. I got hurt. I went on the injured list. Luis Escobar came up, made his major league debut in Chicago. And he's just a good guy. Just wish the best for him.
28 years old. The 9th Colombian-born pitcher in Major League history when he debuted in Stevens Place in 2019. Bouncing ball to third, gloved by Gio. Gio to second, 1. No return to first because Arroyo took a slide in at second. This was really interesting. John Lester, who could swing the bat with a poke against your former Pirates squad, homers there, and then Escobar comes in for that debut and says, "Sit down, meat," and he put Lester down.
You know, everybody talks about their first big league strikeout. Everybody knows exactly who it is. You keep the ball. Mine was Johnny Peralta with the Cardinals. But to have your first strikeout in the big leagues be against a pitcher is pretty funny and literally will not happen ever again.
Johnny Peralta was really scrappy.
Oh, yeah.
Sean Larry, the batter, takes dead red, a called strike. Larry struck out looking in the second. And just to close the book on Almeida, 54 pitches, 34 strikes. Handing it off to Escobar, the first reliever of the night for manager Jose Mosquera. He went around, strike two at the plate. And it's quickly 0-2 on Larry. There's Almeida. Oh, that was number 3, beg your pardon. So Larry down on strikes, and there's the punch out from Escobar.
This is a really good back foot breaking ball. Larry just unable to hold up. He didn't think he went, but it was pretty clear. You watch those wrists break all the way around. Oh, actually, that is not nearly as clear as I thought it was. And he's frustrated. I still think he went. There's a pitcher lean for you. Still think he went.
Took long enough. Game 6 of 7 with my pal Stephen Brault, Greg Caserta, the rest of our crew. Happy to be with you as we get close to the end of these Tucson qualifiers. Finn Bergman takes a bit high, a ball and a strike after striking out his last time. Escobar was part of Colombia's designated pitcher pool in the 2017 WBC. This one's hit well. Deep right field. Mariaga running back. Stops right there. Reaches out and puts it away. Bergman gave it a ride, but Mariaga was there. And Germany's still scoreless through 4. There is the rising star of the Tucson qualifier, Colombia right fielder Jesus Mariaga, who's already 2 for 2 tonight with a triple, a single, and 2 ribbies. 6 for 10, and a tournament-leading 7 runs batted in. Also pretty sure that the 6 hits leads all players that have come to bat in this tourney. Well, Jaden Agassi did a fine job getting out of the 3rd. It's a swing and a foul off the bat of Harold Ramirez, who's 1 for 2 with an RBI single himself.
It really feels like we're just seeing a different side of Jaden Agassi this time around. See that command of that fastball getting in on Ramirez. Now let's see where he goes with this one.
Ooh. Down low to Ramirez. Barstool picked up the clip yesterday of Jaden Agassi surrendering a single to Lucas Ramirez, Manny's son. And the caption was, "Wanna feel old?" Andre Agassi's son gives up a base hit to Manny Ramirez's son. And when you read the comments, and I certainly agreed with a lot of these people, yeah, it made me feel old.
Yeah, it does. It doesn't seem that long ago.
Especially since you follow Manny on social media, he's always in the batting cage.
He's still hitting. He's still getting instruction from hitting coaches when he goes into spring training.
Nobody like him. 1-2. Swing and a miss. Jaden Agassi strikes out Harold Ramirez. Not only is Andre his father, but Steffi Graf his mother. Born in Mannheim, Germany, widely regarded as the greatest of all time in her era. Ranked #1 in the world in women's singles for a record 377 weeks. And then Andre, back when he had the long ponytail, winner of several Grand Slams, many memorable matches on Arthur Ashe Court at the U.S. Open. A fan favorite for a long time, he and Pete Sampras with their unbelievable rivalry. 2-0 on Reynaldo Rodriguez, who's 0 for 2 tonight. Oh, already gone to the bench. Rodriguez done. Guillermo Quintana up at the plate. He fouls it off, 2-1. I think we're going to start to see a lot more of this now, with Colombia holding this 7-0 lead.
Yeah, that makes sense. Get these guys some at-bats right now with the 7-run lead, and Germany looking like they're not able to really get anything going offensively. It's a good time to get these guys some ABs.
Quintana couldn't check up. It's 2-2.
Jaden Agassi, that breaking ball looking a lot different than what we saw the other day. And that's a changeup. Nasty on a drop on that pitch. Agassi looking to find a way back into real professional baseball. Played for the MLB Draft League last year. Did very well. And that bounces that one about 3 feet in front of home plate.
Skips it wide. Quintana aboard with a walk. And between the two of them, they won 167 singles titles. Andre added a gold medal at the Atlanta Games in 1996. And 30 majors between them.
My goodness.
What's really funny is that when they asked Jaden Agassi about playing tennis, he said, I picked up a racket a good amount, but it was always hard for me to keep that ball in between the lines. Baseball's had my love since day one.
And I'll tell you what, serving a tennis ball is very similar to throwing a baseball.
Fabian Pertus at the plate now in place of Gio Urshela.
A lot of transferable skills in between tennis and baseball.
We saw Fabian take over for Gio in their win last night over China. You said it before, partner, that slider's pretty nasty from Jaden Agassi when he wants to control it. Just nice to see after a rough appearance yesterday. He's clearly calmed the nerves and gotten himself in a good spot here tonight. Kicking the 1-2. That's a good take by Perutz.
Yeah, that's a good pitch. Better take. Sometimes as a pitcher, you just got to kind of tip your cap. Good on you for not taking a swing there.
And Carlos Martinez is about to come up for the first time in place of Jair Camargo. And there's another strikeout for Jaden, his second of the inning here in the 4th.
I mean, that changeup is nasty. Throwing that to righties and lefties, doesn't care. That right-on-right changeup can be tough because it dives into you underneath the bat. Not something you see very often as a right-handed hitter. But good depth on that pitch, and you see Perutz nodding his head, saying, yeah, that was a good one.
Job well done by Jair Camargo. Got on in both his plate appearances. Doubled, hit by a pitch, scored twice. And now it's Martinez. All one on the 29-year-old catcher, one of 3 on the roster for Jose Mosquera. Cabell still getting a workout here in Tucson. Line the other way. That's a sharp base hit into right field. Quintana stops at second, and Carlos Martinez keeps that number 5 spot perfect for Colombia with a single with 2 outs.
Yeah, really good swing there going the other way. Sitting back, not trying to do too much with it. So you're seeing Agassi throwing that really good changeup. So as a hitter, what do? You wait back for it, you find it, and you just drive it the other way. Good swing there by Martinez.
Agassi actually took the loss yesterday against Brazil because he gave up the first runs of the game. Brazil Broke open a scoreless game with 4 runs in the 4th inning. And all 4 were charged to Jaden. He was clearly faring much better here tonight, but now this is the part of the lineup that gets lethal. Dilson Herrera is not going anywhere. 2 singles and a run, 5 for 10 overall over these 3 games. 2-0. Agassi yesterday threw 20 pitches. He's up over 20 here, trying to get us to the 5th. Herrera flips one, shallow center, and he's perfect 3 for 3. How fitting that he wears the number 3. Another run home, and Colombia just keeps piling on. It's 8-zip.
That one not hit very well. Got in on the hands of Herrera, but look at that, just fights it off into center field. Talk about guys that are strong enough to, when they get jammed, instead of that ball being a flare to the shortstop or second baseman, that flares out into center field. A great attempt by Simon Baumgart at second base, but unable to get there on the full extension dive back to center field.
Now, one thing with Dilson Herrera, and that is that coming up, he was very much a free swinger, often lost himself at the plate, but here in Tucson, he has been very, very calm and collected. You could see that he has gained a lot of experience and a lot of maturity as time's gone on. Brian Buelbas has been on twice, 1 for 2 with an RBI single and a run.
I mean, if you look at the 5, 6, 7, 8 spots in this lineup today, the only runner who's even gotten out was a fielder's choice. And Etta reached.
Bouncing ball left side, and that bounces through. Buelbas with an RBI single. Tack on another. It's 9-0 Colombia.
And it just keeps going. Seems like even balls not hit well. All going Colombia's way. Little flare out to center field and then a chopper through the infield. And if you're Jaden Agassi, you're frustrated because obviously feeling a lot better today. The stuff looks a lot better, getting weak contact, and still can't find a way to get many outs, and that's got to be frustrating for the young right-hander.
I think the one he wants back is the first of 3 straight singles he surrendered to Martinez. Herrera's was not hit hard. Buelbas just hit it on the ground. And good things happen when you do that here in Tucson, because this surface, we've talked about it, can be very tricky on the infield.
Well, it's just so hard. So when you hit it straight into that ground in front of home plate, it seems like it adds exit velocity on that first bounce. And then by the time the second bounce comes, there's so much spin on the ball that that second bounce really takes off again.
Mariaga goes after the first one, bounces it fair, and Brink is right there to force out Herrera and end the inning. But the Colombians scored 2 more and take a 9-0 lead into the 5th. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of World Baseball Classic, Inc. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent. The one-time WBC champions from 2017, the lone time that the U.S. brought home the gold. That was a very, very special day for the Americans at Dodger Stadium. And they got oh so close the last time around. We showed you that encounter between Trout and Ohtani. The next WBC is only a year away. Just got to get through this season, and then we'll be getting ready for the 2026 Classic. Simon Boymer takes a first pitch strike from the new pitcher for Colombia, Danis Correa. Throwing a BB right out of the gate. Ground ball slash fair inside of third. Boymer is now 2 for 2. Holds on at first with a leadoff base hit.
And Boymer keeps himself perfect, now 3 for 3 in the tournament. Not a lot of at-bats for him, but finding barrel that last at-bat against Almeida, a slider that he kept up the middle, and here a fastball. We call that the late barrel. Not necessarily on time with that, but perfectly barrels it late in the swing. Actually, early in the swing. Nice hard ground ball the other way. Vincent Arentz takes 95 from Correa, 25-year-old. He was on Colombia's roster for the last WBC, but did not appear in a game. Kid throws gas. Yeah, we're seeing a little bit of a squeeze on the strike zone those last few pitches. Like to see the higher velocity here out of the bullpen from Correa.
That's 92, but it sounds a lot harder than that.
I mean, the board's showing 96, so I'm going with the board. It's got some nice zip, good life to it.
Arentz sends it high in the air, shallow left. Very casual. And it's Ramos, who just entered the game for Harold Ramirez, making the catch out and left.
Oh, Rentz put a pretty good swing on that. Just couldn't judge the rise of that fastball. So just underneath it. The timing pretty solid.
Couple of changes here for Team Colombia. I mentioned Jose Ramos taking over for Harold Ramirez in left. Guillermo Quintana is in at first base for Reynaldo Rodriguez. Carlos Martinez now doing the catching. And Fabian Perutz over at third base for Gio Urshela. Ball and a strike on Arentz, who grounded out to third to end the second. Colombia in prime position to get to the WBC. Schmidt unloads and sends it foul.
Correa doing a good job of getting this fastball in the zone, but I actually really like the swings that Germany has been taking here. As you see that ball roll down that little curb. That's probably the easiest souvenir you're going to get.
There's an interesting berm over there, the way it slopes down. So Schmidt, who struck out his first time, has to face a tough one here in Correa. He's currently with the A's AAA affiliate in Las Vegas, where he spent the final month last season. Got off to a great start last year in AA. At a 1.47 ERA in 15 appearances, he was 7 for 7 on saves.
Pretty amazing to appear in 30 games and go all the way from rookie to AA and AAA in the same season.
Payoff to Schmidt. And he's walked.
Bat there from Alex Schmidt at the bottom of the order. And a little bit of life from this German lineup. We haven't seen much of that in this game. The Colombian pitching staff has been nigh unhittable.
First time they've had 2 on the bases at the same time here in the 5th. So their best chance to put a dent on that scoreboard with Colombia scoring 5 in the first and 2 each in the third and fourth. Eric Brink lines it to third, back to second, and those are the breaks. A double play, Perutz to Arroyo, and the inning comes to an end, getting us halfway home. Eric Brink thought he had his first hit, but he lines into this inning-ending double play. He is now 0 for the dreaded unlucky 13, and it's all Colombia as they look to march back to the WBC. The new pitcher for Team Germany and the third reliever of the night. All righties for Team Germany tonight. It's Joe Zadorno de Leon, 25-year-old, making his WBC qualifying debut. Francisco Acuna in the 9 spot for Colombia. He stands in and takes low and away. Jaden Agassi ended up giving them an inning and 2/3. 3 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 walk, a couple of strikeouts. A 2-out magic for Colombia in the 4th.
I will say, though, Agassi looked so much better than he did yesterday. I think
day.
He got some bad luck on some weak hits through the infield, but, I mean, overall, off speed combined with the fastball, good stuff.
3-0 on Acuna, 0 for 2. Thought he had a base hit the other way in the 3rd inning, but Simon Baumgart dove out to his left and was able to get up and make a perfect throw. Acuna now 2 for 9 in the tournament, but that's his 2nd walk as he gets aboard to begin the 5th.
Just 4 non-competitive pitches there from Zadorno de Leon.
Last season, 68 innings in the German Bundesliga, an ERA of 3.31. He's represented Germany at 2 separate international tournaments, the European Championship and the U23 Baseball World Cup. Actually pitched pretty well in limited action here. Michael Arroyo, the batter, and he takes a look at strike 1 over the outside.
Yeah, just got to get back in the zone, try to get that ground ball here.
Arroyo 0 for 2, hit by a pitch, scored a run in that 5-run first for Colombia. Big swing and a miss, one of the few times that he came undone at the plate.
Yeah, good breaking ball there. Arroyo looking for a fastball. As you see, Zadorno de Leon's stats in the Bundesliga last year, 3.31 ERA in 68 innings. Bundesliga now the German Baseball Liga.
Jose Ramos is in the on-deck circle, getting ready to hit for Harold Ramirez. And that time, Zadorno de Leon found the zone and puts down Arroyo for out number 1.
Good pitch there. That kind of seemed like you know, when you're facing new pitchers pretty much every time you come up to the plate, guys that you've never seen before, never even really heard of before, have no idea what they're going to throw. A pitch like that, a righty on righty, either a splitter or a changeup, whatever that is, dropping in on the hands of Arroyo's, not really what you're looking for. That's going to be hard to hit.
Ramos goes after the first one, sprays it foul. One of the younger position players on this Colombia roster. Won a gold medal with Colombia in the Pan Am Games when they beat Brazil, so he's had a taste of that ultimate high, which Colombia is chasing down here tonight. A win here would send them to their 3rd straight World Baseball Classic. Ramos originally signed by the Giants back in July of 2019. He's almost exclusively played for their rookie ball affiliate since he didn't debut until after COVID wiped out the 2020 season. And now it's 1-2.
Yeah, COVID pushed a lot of young players' careers back a year. It'd be very difficult to find your footing again after missing a whole year like that.
Good take. Ramos across 4 minor league seasons, over 200 games in the Giants organization. 240 hitter, but a 715 OPS. He's shown some pop with 59 career extra base hits. 2-2. Broken bat roller out to short. Schmidt charges, flips to second, back to first. Look at that. That's vintage Alex Schmidt. And that was real clean. He's got that glove flip working. He did it earlier in the tourney, and you get another look at this one right here. Just like Little League, we go to the 6th, all Colombia.
Support of the 2025 World Baseball Classic Qualifiers. Hey, D-backs fans, you can watch all D-backs games in market, both live and on demand during the 2025 season for only $99.99 a year with dbacks.tv. Visit dbacks.tv for more info. And see yourself on the video board. Tweet or Instagram your pictures using the hashtag WBCQTucson to see your photo.
This was a very proud moment for the people of Colombia. 2010 World Series, the first of 3 for the Giants with Bruce Bochy. They did it every other year. And one of the leaders on that first World Series team, Colombian shortstop Edgar Renteria. There he is, getting presented with the MVP trophy by former Commissioner Bud Selig. What a career he had.
That World Series, he went 7 for 17, 2 home runs, 6 RBIs. What a series, goodness gracious.
Oh, I like this here. Look at Yapson Gomez. The hair, the odd, funky setup. Goes to the same barber as Harold Ramirez and paints a strike to Helmig, 1-1.
The blue hair is nice.
Look at that, the elbow up, telling himself a little secret. Now he comes high, lots of movement, lots of flair, high socks, the whole deal. And a pop-up on the infield off the bat of Helmig. Quintana, the first baseman, coming down the line, runs it down and makes the catch in fair ground.
Quick first out for Yapson Gomez. Really good stats. Look at that. The double blue hair.
There's one. Let's see the other one.
Harold Ramirez.
Look at that.
Hey, there we go.
Now Harold is out of the game, and I feel like we should make mention that the reason that he has his hair dyed blue is because one of his sons, Elian, has autism spectrum disorder, which is why Harold has dyed his hair blue with the color of autism awareness. He also has a tattoo on his hand in honor of his son with a puzzle piece on it, a symbol of the autistic community, a message that reads, "It's okay to be different." And that's why some people have misunderstood Harold Ramirez, thinking that there's something more to that hairstyle, but it means a lot to him and his family, and that's just a beautiful thing.
Oh, a little shimmy shake with the front foot there by Yapson Gomez.
Pulling a Cueto right there?
Yeah, and the Colombian fan club sure wanted that strike.
Now, Yapson Gomez, some of you might recognize him because he did pitch in the last WBC.
Definitely some Cueto action there.
He threw an inning and 2/3 shutout innings against Team USA, and it's that little kick right there, the electric slide, that allowed him to retire the likes of Kyle Schwarber, Will Smith, Trey Turner, Mookie Betts, and Tim Anderson. 2-2.
Man, facing that USA team, it's no joke. No joke. But you can see Gomez got some good stuff. He's very funky. Clearly having fun out there on the mound, doing things his own way. I love to see that. Very lefty.
He was born to be a reliever.
He was born to be a lefty reliever.
And I'll tell you what, lost in the shuffle of this sometimes when you have these blowouts is Lucas Dunn having a great night at the plate. A single, a walk, and now another 3-2 on the way. Yapson Gomez, I'm sure he likes to yap. Pulled on the ground, base hit inside the line. Lucas Dunn, perfecto. Long run into the corner for Ramos. And Dunn pulls into second with a one-out double.
He has looked so comfortable at the plate this entire tournament, but really, I mean, what we've seen from him is that continuous short, quick swing. Look how quickly he gets to this ball. That ball, fastball in the inside corner, has the big leg kick, but keeps the hands back so well, so tight into his body. Sometimes when guys do the leg kick, it kind of naturally makes their hands move a lot. And when guys move their hands a lot of times they're late getting to the ball. He keeps his hands steady, and while he's moving forward with that big leg kick, he's always ready to unload those hands, and really good swing right there again from Lucas Dunn.
Dunn now 2 for 2. Has half their hits and overall 4 out of 10 in the qualifier. All one down low to Simon Baumgart. Now, we talked about Yapson Gomez when we knew he was coming into the game, and the fact that this guy had a 2.54 ERA over 7 minor league seasons, basically, I don't want to say blackballed, but basically got drummed out because he wasn't a high strikeout guy. Gets a ground ball to third, right at Peruge, checks the runner back, then gets the out at first.
Yeah, sometimes the different ways of, analyzing pitchers nowadays can kind of leave some guys left in the dust that if Yapson Gomez was a pitcher 15 years ago, he probably would have had a long, illustrious career as a left-handed reliever. But
he'd be a Steve Klein.
Right. But now that weak contact is not what teams are looking for. Now teams looking for whiff percentage. Number one, out of the bullpen, can you get guys to swing and miss? Because you can walk people as long as you don't let them hit the ball.
Here's Tristan Russell at the plate for Germany. He takes over for Sean Lowry in the 5 spot as the DH. Russell trying to come off the bench and explode. And you know what's great is Germany, even with all this going on, they know they're going to get a chance to play if they lose this game. They're still very engaged in that dugout, despite being down 9-0.
Absolutely. This is still a time when you got to make sure that you're putting pressure on the Colombian pitching staff. Getting your reps in for what will be most likely at this point a Germany and Brazil face-off on Thursday night, especially after that last game they played, a 9-7 nail-biter between those two teams.
Gomez eyes second. And the bottom drops out on Russell, 1-2.
Yapson Gomez Unfortunately, unable to do all of the trickery in that delivery with the runner on base. Double shoulder tap with the glove, the high set down to the belt.
And that one's tipped right off Martinez, who had a good chance to squeeze it and secure the final out. So Sean Larry finishes the night 0 for 2 in the 5 spot. And so far, the lone close game here in this qualifier has been Germany and Brazil. So if we see them Thursday night, buckle up. Another 1-2 from Gomez. And that one caught Russell.
Yeah, I guess that was a foul ball.
But I think it caught the knob of the bat.
No, it caught foul ball.
Still 1-2 as we get another look here from the side.
Oh,
yep, right there.
Off the knob.
And you still get a stinger from that.
Oh, yeah.
Which,
it's not as bad as getting hit in the hand.
it's like having that accordion feeling go through your fingers.
Right. Tingle down.
Oof.
Hurts.
Down the runner at second after the double. Gomez looking to get us to the home 6th. And he does. Power fastball, 91. Don't tell him he's a low strikeout guy. He's got flair. He's got some funky moves. And he's got some nasty stuff. A scoreless 6th for Yapson Gomez. His teammates love it. And why not? Colombia on its way to its 3rd straight WBC. How's that for a name? Duke Von Schamann from Tulsa, Oklahoma, the big 33-year-old, into pitch. His bottom of the 6th inning. He starts off Guillermo Quintana with a breaking ball strike. Quintana's up for the 2nd time. When he came on for Reynaldo Rodriguez in the 4th, he worked a walk and scored the 8th Colombia run. Swept the other way into right field, rising up, but right there for Finn Bergman.
Yeah, that ball was hit right on the screws. And that ball more caught Bergman than he caught it. Straight at him. That's one in the outfield where you end up freezing because you want to naturally, you got to take a step because how often does a ball actually hit straight to you? A little bit of freeze there. Nice catch by Bergman.
Luca Ramelman has taken over in left field for Germany. There's a bouncing ball through the right side. Base hit for Perutz. And he gets on with a 1-out single. And this is important because of what we saw earlier today. And Germany saw this firsthand when they mercy ruled China 12-2. That was the exact same final by which China fell today to Brazil. Should Colombia score here and take a 10-plus run lead, Germany would then have to get it within 10 in order to not be mercy ruled in the top of the 7th.
Baseball's funny. First hitter hits a line drive straight to your right fielder, and then the next guy gets jammed, hits a weak ground ball, and it goes perfectly through the right side. Oh, what a game we play.
It's better to not try and understand it.
Right.
Here's Carlos Martinez, who singled and scored his first time up. Flips this one in the air to left field. Ramelman being tested, charges in, makes the catch. 2 down.
A little hesitation from Ramelman out there in left field, because that one ended up, it looked a little bit like he got that better than I think most people thought. But really off the handle, Ramelman ends up having to really run in to catch this ball. You see that hesitation there. Nice play by the new left fielder.
Here's Dilson Herrera, a perfect 3 for 3 tonight. A trio of singles, an RBI, and a run. 6 for 11 here in the tourney. He and Maryaga, who's in the hole, tied for the qualifier lead with those 6 hits. And Herrera with a rare swing where he looked overmatched. Strike 1.
And really, it's the bottom of this Colombian lineup. I mean, normally you'd say, oh, well, you're getting to the bottom of the lineup, so this is where you want to be to finish this inning out. Well, that's not the case with this team. Herrera, Huelvas, and Maryaga have been fantastic today.
Do want to say hi to the folks watching back in Oklahoma. Duke Von Schaman, currently the pitching coach at Oklahoma Christian University. So hopefully some of his players are taking note and rooting their pitching coach on to a scoreless 6th.
It would be
slammed foul.
It'd be really cool to see your pitching coach in college out there in the WBC qualifiers pitching against some of the best hitters from Colombia.
Has to be cool for him to still don the high socks. First represented Germany in the qualifiers in 2022, pitching against Great Britain and the Czech Republic. 2-2 now on Herrera.
You know, if he throws up a 0, he's immediately going to be texting all of his players and saying, that's how it's done, folks. Just do that.
Practice what you preach, right? The Duke spent 2 years at Texas Tech before the Dodgers drafted him in the 15th round in 2012. He was actually teammates with Twins reliever Danny Coulombe at Texas Tech.
Danny Coulombe, nasty.
Yeah. He's pitched in 3 different independent leagues. And this is really cool. His father, Uwe Von Schaman, was born in Germany and was a kicker for the Dolphins for 6 years. Appeared in 2 Super Bowls for Miami. And Herrera scorches one, center field, it's down. It kicks off, done, and rolls towards right field. Dilson Herrera, perfecto, 4 for 4 here tonight.
I mean, that was just another line drive. Really good swing there from Herrera. We're seeing this Colombian team consistently finding the barrel against the German pitching staff here tonight. And, you know, it's kind of a slow start for Colombia in their first game. But these last 2 games, we've had a lot of loud contact right there. Perfect barrel through the zone. A good effort out there in center field. But unfortunately, Dunn unable to come up with that one. Kind of kicks off the glove. But a good job of keeping it in front of him, because that could have been very bad.
And now the possible winning run is at third for Colombia again. You get a look here at Perutz going first to third. We saw Brazil do that quite a bit in game 1. As China got mercy ruled for the 2nd time in 3 days, 12-2. Huelvas today, 2 for 3, 2 RBI, singles and a run. Swings through that changeup, and it's 0-2.
Good pitch there from Von Schaman.
Sure was.
We've seen some good movement from him. A bit of an awkward release point from the right-handed side. Probably not super easy to pick up. And Huelvas has been an aggressive swinger. Try to get him to chase here.
Huelvas 5 for 10 overall. Part of this loaded bottom half of the Colombia lineup. Swing and a miss. Von Schaman bangs his mitt and ends it with a K. There you go, Oklahoma Christian. You got yourselves a pretty good pitching coach. Let's go to the 7th. Dilson Herrera has continued this unbelievable run here at the Tucson Qualifiers for the next World Baseball Classic. Couple of rips. He's been consistent, all singles. He's hit it all over the field here at Keno Veterans Memorial Stadium. He squared up a lot, and the last one was the hardest one of them all. Was looking for his second ribby of the night, but he'll settle for a 4 for 4.
Yeah, it's not a bad day at the ballpark.
As he takes over the qualifier lead in hits with 7, at least for now. Jesus Mariaga will be due up first in the bottom half of the 7th. And the new pitcher is Ezequiel Zabaleta from Maria La Baja, Colombia, 29-year-olds. Comes to the plate, gets a swing and a grounder to the left side. Perutz across the diamond to get Bergman for out number 1.
Good sink on that pitch. In on the hands of Bergman. Nice easy ground ball for the third baseman. That's exactly what you want coming out of the bullpen. And there he is, Mariaga. I think personally, for myself, the most fun and interesting story of this qualifier so far has been the awesome success of Jesus Mariaga and what he's been able to do from that 8th spot in the Colombian order.
Simon Boymer, a perfect 2 for 2. Germany's offense has basically been a 2-pronged attack. Lucas Dunn in the 3 spot has been on all 3 times with a single, a double, and a walk. And you see Boymer right there with singles in the 2nd and the 5th. Zabaleta to the plate. A ball and a strike. Now, he was on Colombia's designated pitcher pool for the WBC in 2017, but he never got activated. Again, in 2023, was on the roster, did not pitch. So trying to cement his place in this bullpen. And he's out there with a 9-0 lead. Again, the 10-run mercy rule will be in effect here in the 7th inning. So Colombia's got a chance to end this one early. 2-1 to Boymer. Out straight back, got a good rip. And for Germany, if, let's say, they don't come back tonight, they still have to get ready for Brazil on Thursday.
Zabaleta has pitched already in this tournament. Had an inning, gave up 2 hits, struck out 2. Get those runners on base, though.
So we talked about all these Colombian players on this team that have been with Jose Mosquera, with Caimanes de Barranquilla in the Colombian Winter League, and he was a big part of it. A 1.50 ERA in 17 games this year. 3-2. Cracked foul, and I think a lot needs to be said about that. I think we touched on it at one point, Steven, how there's that familiarity there for Jose and trusting guys, knowing that he can put them in spots and just let them be.
Different strategies to being a good manager. Matsumoto more hands-on. Mosquera more the clockmaker.
Jam shot once again. Perutz tested, had to cover more ground this time, but same result. The Boymer's retired for the first time.
Putting the right team together, knowing that you've put your roster together in a way that you trust, and then letting the guys go out and play. Mosquera more hands-off when it comes to in-game managing. But boy, oh boy, is this Colombian team stacked. And remember, if they do get to the actual WBC at this point next year, they're going to have some more guys joining this team.
Winston Arentz 0 for 2. Pops the first one back foul. And you think back to our first conversation with Jose Mosquera, and you got to figure that this has been brewing now for the last 2+ years. The fact that he was on the last coaching staff when things fell apart for Colombia in the WBC. A chance to manage his home country, and knowing that they're oh so close to their 3rd straight trip to the World Baseball Classic. What a job he has done in his first go as skipper.
Just putting guys in the right place to be successful and trusting that they're going to do their job.
Nice pitch. Arentz out in front. It's 1-2.
And the only team in the tournament that we saw run out the same lineup all 3 games. Makes it easy for us on the scorebook.
Sure does. Here's Mariaga in right field. He'll be due up first in the home half. Boy, wouldn't that be something? stepping up into a 9-0 game. Marriaga could end it with one swing and really close this baby out with a flourish.
Yeah, we've seen 2 7th-inning walk-offs so far in this short tournament.
Zabaleta, the 2-2. Tapper, right side. Who wants it? It's Quintana with the flip and Zabaleta with the touch-up to end the inning. 3 up and 3 down for Zabaleta. He's been dancing the last few nights, and now he's got a chance to send Colombia back to the WBC. Jesus Marriaga up next. What's wrong with you? Like, calm down.
No! The controller stinks.
As Stephen Brault said, this has happened twice in 6 games here at the WBC qualifiers in Tucson. A game will end, at least in this case here tonight, if one team, that being Colombia, leads by at least 10 runs in the 7th inning. So here we go. 1 run away from heading back to their 3rd straight WBC. Simon Gross trying to get it to the 8th, and of course Marriaga trying to end it on one swing right there, sends it into the seats for strike 1. Duke von Schaman ended up striking out his final hitter in the 6th inning, worked around a couple of singles and left Perutz as the possible winning run at 3rd base. We saw China fall to Brazil in this fashion earlier today, 12-2. And now Gross paints a strike to the outside on Marriaga, who's 2 for 3 tonight, an RBI triple in the 1st and a ribby single in the 3rd.
Talked about these German players all around the world playing baseball wherever they can find it.
That one gets through the legs. He's rung up, and now Marriaga takes the base on the drop 3rd strike. And that's a tough break for Germany. They should have had 1 out, but instead it's Marriaga now the winning run at 1st. He still gets a little dance out of it.
Yeah, well, you get the base, you get the dance, so it doesn't matter how you get there. Tournament play like this, it's all about winning. Doesn't matter how you do it. That one just stayed down. An unfortunate choice by the catcher.
That's really heads up, too.
Yeah.
Some guys don't move, some guys stay put.
Got to get down to a knee on that one behind the plate.
Marriaga just likes being on camera. I think that's what it is. He's got that $1 million smile. All the way
face
from,
for TV.
Sure does. All the way from Cartagena to Tucson. First pitch to the number 9 hitter, Francisco Acuna. There's ball 1. Acuna tonight with this 0 for 2 has brought his totals to 2 for 9. Has walked a couple of times. And he couldn't check up in time. It's a ball and a strike.
I was going to say, with Simon Gross, guy who has played in the Dutch Professional Baseball League the last 2 years, the Dutch Major Leagues in the Netherlands. I'm not going to try to say that team name. But he's thrown almost 200 innings, and he's got an ERA just under 4.
1-1. Acuna adjusts, but fouls it off. You know what's really funny is I saw that same team name and I took it out of my notes because I knew I couldn't pronounce it either.
Right.
So you make me feel a lot better about that.
Happy to do that.
Winning run at first for Colombia. That's Mariaga. Keep an eye on him. Acuna lifts it, left field, down for a hit. Mariaga watches it, stays at second, and there he is, the winning run getting closer for Colombia.
A good swing from Acuna there. Just another example of Colombia finding the barrel. That one top spun. If it wasn't top spun, that's definitely getting through in the gap, as Urshela and Harold are having a good time down in the dugout.
Harold's having a snack, Gio's having a laugh. And you don't think this means a lot to these guys?
Oh,
they're getting ready to pour out of that dugout. Mikel Arroyo, 0 for 3 with a hit by pitch and a run. Could he be the hero? Bouncing ball left side, this could do it. Here comes Mariaga, they stop him there. And just like that, they're loaded with nobody out. It'll be Jose Ramos's turn to end it for Colombia.
No waiting around there. Mikel Arroyo gets a fastball inside. Drops those hands on it, gets the barrel to it, squeaks it through the left side.
Gross has come oh so close. The drop third strike to Mariaga. He had Acuna 1 and 2. As you said, Arroyo wasted no time. And now Ramos, who hit into the inning-ending double play in the 5th, can end this one with a bang. Ball 1. Colombia trying to be the 3rd team out of 4 to qualify for next year's WBC. The winner's lounge is waiting on the boys in gold. Line drive, there it is! Pack your bags, Colombia. You're heading back to the World Baseball Classic.
Just a constant offensive onslaught from Colombia over the last few days. Seemed like they just continued to grow and grow as these games went on. And hey, man, this is awesome. This is why you play this. These guys so excited to get back into the real WBC. Big time for Team Colombia. They came in as the favorites, and I'll tell you what, partner, they walk out as the definite favorites of this tournament. They showed why they were the team to beat as they get the big old ticket, main tournament round.
There it is. A golden moment for the Colombian national team. They are headed back to their 3rd straight World Baseball Classic, and there he is, bottom left, the number 15, Jose Mosquera, leads Colombia to a perfect 3-0 record in the Tucson Qualifier, and they are headed back to the WBC.
Just such a great collective effort from this Colombian team. I just want to let it be known, they just played 3 games, and gave up 1 run. We talk about their offense, rightfully so. Their offense really came through in all these games, but wow, the pitching staff only giving up 1 run over 3 games is just, I mean, that shows that this team really is looking to do damage in the World Baseball Classic next year, not just be a participant.
They outscore this group of Brazil, Germany, and China by a final tally through 3 games of 23-1.
Wow.
Just a dominant, unbelievable performance. And by the way, let's not forget about the boys from Deutschland. Germany still gets to play for a WBC spot on Thursday night against Brazil.
We got a huge game coming up on Thursday night. Like you said, we really only had 1 close game in this tournament, and that was between Brazil and Germany, who now we get to see play in that quote-unquote championship game on Thursday. Of course, the champions from this tournament, Colombia, they don't even have to play in that game. They get to go split up wherever they're going to go. A lot of affiliated players got to get back to their teams, get ready for the coming season. But I'll tell you what, they'll be thinking about getting into that World Baseball Classic, getting a few wins, getting out of that pool play for the first time. You know, these guys are excited.
The favorites emerge victorious, and now Germany and Brazil will duke it out on Thursday night with a chance to join them in next year's World Baseball Classic. In the end, it's Jose Ramirez singling home the winning run. There's the man of the hour, Jesus Mariaga, who writes an unbelievable chapter to his story here in Tucson. An off day tomorrow, well-deserved rest for our entire crew, and then our final game of pool play with the final spot in next year's World Baseball Classic on the line between Germany and Brazil. We will once again get started 6 o'clock local time here at Kino Veterans Memorial Stadium. Colombia's punched their ticket. They are flying high as they get ready for next year's 2026 World Baseball Classic. But there's still one spot left. We'll find out on Thursday night here in Tucson as Germany squares off with Brazil. For Stephen Brault and our outstanding production crew, led by producer Mike Trainer, I'm Greg Caserta saying so long from the desert. Have a great rest of your night, and we'll see you back here on Thursday.